Failure is an option. Believe me, that option has chosen me plenty of times during my PhD journey. How are you doing, Unfinished fam? I'm back once again to share some not so talked about aspects about the PhD journey. I'm technically Dr. Jones and mentally burnt out, but calling me Chelsea is fine. Failure is a part of life, as you already know, but let me share with you what failure could look like as a PhD and how I've coped with it over the years. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and check out my cutesy photos on the Instagram. I'm currently failing at Twitter, but you can go follow me there too. Let's start by getting a common understanding of how I'm using the term failure. When I say that I've had a failure, I'm saying that I'm not getting opportunities, I've been rejected, I'm not meeting expectations, or dropped the ball on something, yada yada yada. And that's also to include personal interactions as well. Usually, when people ask me how things are going, I say something like,
I'm struggling, but I'm making it.
To their response,
"You've got this."
No, I do not have this. I've come to the conclusion that people saw me getting a PhD and thought,
"Wow, she's doing great."
nah bruh, I was not doing great, because every day I felt like I was failing at something in a brand new way. I got bars. Anyway, let's start at the beginning. Getting into grad school. After clawing my way through undergrad and finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, I started applying for PhD programs. 10 to be exact. And out of those 10, please take a gamble at how many rejected me. Go ahead, put your guess in the comments below. I'll pause the video. I'll wait. Okay, what do you think? 1 rejection, maybe 3? How about all 10? Ha! You're probably thinking,
But didn't you just graduate from the PhD program? Don't you have to get in first?
and what is your point? I said what I said. I was rejected from every single school I applied for, and it kind of hurt. For a quick minute, I didn't think I was cut out for getting a PhD. And then this opportunity turned up on me, which was to stay at my undergrad institution and get a master's. To be frank, I really didn't want to, for no reasons other than I wasn't interested in an applied math degree and I wanted to go straight for the PhD. But who am I to reject a free degree that ended up not being free? Another story for another day. Anywho, I spent my first year in the program bettering my CV and reapplying to PhD programs, getting an acceptance from my top 2 choices on the second go around. Insert sentiments about never giving up and achieving your goals here. Back to the scrumptious feast of failures. I'm sure you've heard me say this before, but my first year in the PhD program was one heck of a ride. Adapting to the new environment and rigor of the program was kind of like an unexpected dip in an ice bath. Quite a shock. My foolishly optimistic self thought to take 4 classes in my first semester, the 4th one being a human genetics class. And I don't know if you know this, but science, specifically biology-related sciences, are my Achilles heel. Fun fact, I paid to take biology 3 times in undergrad, and not because I was feeling philanthropic. Quite literally, the only F I have ever gotten in college. Well, this was my first taste of PhD failure. Oh, I'm not talking about failing the genetics class. I withdrew from that class before the first test. I realized that was a dummy mission after taking the first quiz. I'm talking about barely getting a 3.0 in my other classes, having to take the qualifying exam for 2 out of the 3 of those classes, getting a 30 on one of those exams and having to retake it. Check out my PhD curriculum video for more information on the importance of those classes and the other requirements I had to go through. Right, let's continue. Academic failure isn't really new to me, for real. I've come to understand my best learning style and how the lack of representation and support for students of color, particularly women of color in the STEM fields, puts me at a disadvantage. And although I may contribute to my own failures, they're not solely because of what I am lacking, rather what the institution of learning is unwilling to change. So let's talk about coping with some of my non-class related failures. Over the years, I've transitioned from being a high-strung, hyper-anxious, type A personality-wielding person to being a slightly less anxious person who's still a little bit high strung when it comes to the fear of being a disappointment. You can imagine that my anxiety is affected by my unsuccesses. Come. Hear about one of my more recent failures and how I'm currently coping with it. Alright, as a researcher and recent grad, it's common for me to go to conferences to present my current work and to network for opportunities. This summer I had 3 presentations, 1 for my internship and 2 for my dissertation related work, all of which were virtual. My latest presentation was for the Joint Statistical Meeting, the largest gathering of statisticians in North America, and I had also signed up for the Career Services add-on. I'm gonna cut to the chase. I missed my presentation deadline. On purpose. Okay, wait, that sounds bad. I was planning on presenting and I was preparing for it, but as the time came for me to do so, I just wasn't in the right mental state. Honestly, all I had to do was record my presentation and upload it 24 hours in advance. But I've just been in this dense mental fog since last semester, and it's been really difficult for me to get things done. What are the repercussions of me not presenting? I'm not sure yet. This just happened, and I've never done something like this before. How is this affecting me? I feel terrible for not upholding my agreement to present. I honestly feel like I disappointed my advisors and let myself down too. But I'm also really relieved. Like I said, this is the first time I've done something like this. By this, I mean not presenting at a conference when I said I was going to, and choosing my mental stability over possibly disappointing people that I look up to. I'm glad that I decided not to present, and me not regretting this decision has made it a lot easier to cope with this failure. How am I coping? First, I'm trying to figure out how exactly I feel about the situation and what to do next. I feel like I should at least go to the career services portion of this and check out other people's talks. Second, I talked to my advisors about what happened. Okay, well, I emailed them. Even though I know they're super supportive and understanding, I'm still nervous to see what kind of disappointment that they might have. Plus, writing down what I want to say gives me the opportunity to really focus on what I want to be heard. Third, I really need to reflect on how I can avoid a repeat of this moving forward. I had realized that I wasn't mentally prepared for this and did it anyways because
Keep pushing forward.
this mentality got me to this failure. If I hadn't ignored how I was feeling beforehand, then I wouldn't have made that bad decision later down the road. And fourth, letting it go. It happened. It's done. There's nothing I can do about it now. Like, I'm embarrassed that I let it happen and I'll face any consequences that there may be, but I gotta leave it where it's at. In the past. Alrighty then. That's a wrap on this video. If you want to hear about any more of my flops during my PhD journey, subscribe to my channel and you're bound to hear more about it. I appreciate you for watching today's video. Hopefully you've gained some insight on how to handle failures on your PhD journey, or just in general. Like this video if you enjoyed. Follow me on the socials. See you next time.